Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Dry Fire Tools of the Trade. And today we're going to talk about how to dry fire a traditional double action gun, much like this Beretta 92, specifically in single action mode. Now, obviously I am holding a Beretta 92 in my hands. It's got the Langdon grips, Langdon trigger job in a bag. I would be grossly negligent for you if I did not tell you to go watch Ernest's video series on Fear Not, the double action shot. It's a great quick series where Ernest, the man himself, goes over how to manage a double action trigger, and he even goes into how to manage the double to single action transition. I have to tell you to go from there. He's one of the few guys that I want to train with every opportunity that I can get, and every single time that I have trained with him, I pick something up. So he has made me a much better shooter, and I really hope that that information helps you out. That being said, let's get into it. All right, as we all know, I prefer reciprocating triggers because whether I am running irons or a dot, whatever you are, I want something to disturb my sight picture. So whether I am doing some type of single target drill or moving from target to target, working on those types of transitions, I want that front sight or that sighting system to move, so therefore I can truly call my shot, whether I'm getting it all alphas and close charlies, what have you. That really assists you in your discipline with your dry fire. So when you go to the range and work on your live fire, you can really make sure that you are confirming your dry fire with your live fire, if that makes sense. So that being said, internet, it is empty, as you can see there. No magazine in the gun, empty chamber. Let's hop to it. All right. Obviously, you can see how far forward, when the gun is in double action, how far forward the trigger sets. What I'm going to do here is simply cock the hammer. You see how far forward to the rear that trigger sits, okay? That being said, I'm going to decock it, excuse me. How do I create that reciprocating trigger whenever, if I was in single action and I press the trigger, I don't get that movement again, okay? I don't get that single action. Again, just like using a striker fired gun, you're not going to get the same resistance, the same weight that you would doing it this method as just like you would with a striker fired gun. There's going to be a weightless there, if you will. But again, our goal is to create disturbance in our sight picture, so therefore we can work on our grip and our sight picture confirmation there, calling our shots. So for demonstration purposes, I do not advocate pinning the trigger to the rear, but what I'm going to do here is pin the trigger to the rear. As you can see there, I went through the entire shot process. The hammer cocked, the hammer came back all the way to, or back forward, excuse me, okay? What I am going to do from here is simply relax my finger a little bit, and you see how far forward my finger can come. Don't worry, I'll show this from a different angle in just a second. And I'm going to press the trigger again. Excuse me, I messed up there. Here. From there, guess what? I now have unlimited ammo. I can do what I got to do for free, okay? Now, coming closer, so again, from this angle, I'm going to use my thumb, press the trigger all the way forward. Look at the tip of the trigger bow here and where it is in regards to that trigger pin on this other side. That's way forward. So again, I want to get relaxed and let it come all the way forward. Okay, again, I'm also working the entire travel of the gun there. You can let it come here, and just like you would in single action. I don't advocate that because one, it's very minimal travel. Even in single action mode, you have a little bit of slack. So here, you can see that little bit of slack when the hammer is cocked, and I still have to press it all the way back there. Another reason is if you're not careful, what can happen is if you let it forward just a little bit, is as you dry fire, you start getting a little lazy and you almost start pinning the trigger to the rear. As you can see there, that kind of motion happens. Even in single action, that's not enough to allow that trigger reset and come forward. So let it come out a little bit more and work it that way. All you're doing is increasing your trigger control anyway. And not only that, as you can see there, I have a reciprocating trigger. So that's pretty much it. So again, if you're working on something specifically from the draw, do the first shot from double action, like so, and then immediately just let off and go to work. Now, something like reloads or anything like that, I would just reload, advocate, and then work the transition all over again. I don't want you to get into the habit of holding the trigger just to keep that single action, just so you have a single action like you would live fire after the reload. That's a real bad habit to get into. And if you're dry firing more than you live fire, which most people do anyways, I really wouldn't recommend that, especially on something like this with a trigger job in a bag, or you've got a Langdon Elite or a worked over TDA. It's going to cause problems even at a match where I don't want to see anybody get DQ'd for something silly. Another thing is, honestly, it's not going to hurt you to work that transition again. You're just going to keep getting better and better and better at it, like something off a reload, work it and then transition and then go back to work. So I hope this helps. Just a quick vid, dry fire tools of the trade. Remember guys, can't buy skill. I'll see you next time.